This is the newly elevated Metronet Beckenham Station. We are currently standing at the southern end of the recently complete level crossing removal project in Perth. There goes a Thornlie-Cockburn Line train heading towards the Thornlie dive tunnel to Thornlie and Cockburn Central, which it's barely in view, you can't even see it, but it should be coming very soon. This is also the official end of Long Park, a long park, I guess, which runs from Carlisle Station to Beckenham Station underneath the elevated rail, technically, although there are many sections which are kind of separated because of ground level track running, so it's not really, but at least there's something here. Beckenham Station is located 13.8 kilometers from Perth in Fare Zone 2 on the Armadale and Thornlie-Cockburn Lines. It first opened in 1954, named Higham, with the introduction of diesel railcars to the Perth metropolitan network, allowing for closer station spacing on lines. It was renamed to Beckenham in 1969, but remained largely unchanged all the way until 2014, when a $8.1 million upgrade was completed to the station and surrounding car parks. The Thornlie line opened as a one-station spur after Beckenham Station to Thornlie via the Kenwick Dive Tunnel, which had been completed for the Mandurah line alignment, but was with the change of the alignment, only the Thornlie station and spur was completed to compensate and at least use the dive tunnel. However, Thornlie line trains did not stop at Beckenham Station the majority of the time, due to the treacherous transfer that will be required across the staggered platforms at the station over the William Street Road and level crossing. The transfer point was at Cannington, with Beckenham Station being marked on maps as located after the Kenwick dive, despite this not being the case. And only Armadale line trains stopped at the station, with Thornlie line trains skipping it at almost all times except during disruptions of the Armadale line and on special occasions, and when drivers made mistakes. So, as I said, the station was one of only 2 stations on the transport network to have properly staggered platforms to reduce the time that the level crossing at William Street here was closed, with platform 2 for outbound services located approximately here, now replaced by this section of Long Park, which we just walked across, with a small biking trail and skate park and a few other things located here. This is the newly constructed PSP, which follows the Armadale line all the way to Byford, although it is still requiring completion in some sections. Platform 1 towards Perth was located on the northern side of the William Street crossing. The other station with staggered platforms is Kenwick, one stop beyond this station on the Armadale line, which has remained unchanged even after the rebuild of Beckenham. We've got some very nice new signs here as well: Beckenham Community Park, Basin Park, and the map of the Beckenham Station area over there. We'll go up to check out Basin Park as well, but for now let's walk into the station. So originally, as part of the Metronet level crossing removal project, Beckenham Station was not going to be rebuilt and the level crossing here would be retained. However, this would have meant that it would be the only level crossing along the entire Thornlie, or now Thornlie-Cockburn line, and would have been extremely disruptive with the high frequencies as a result of the 2 lines coming through the area. Therefore, further funding was provided to also remove the level crossing at Beckenham and rebuild the station as an elevated station, allowing for no more level crossings to be present along the entire Thornlie-Cockburn line. The new station opened following an 18-month shutdown from the 20th of November 2023 to the 8th of June 2025. But the Armadale line beyond this station did not reopen at this time. Over here we have a bike shelter and William Street the site of the old crossing, and now this pedestrian signalized traffic light, which is very good. So, and colored pillars as well, and some information about the artworks. During this time, after its reopening, Beckenham Station only served Thornlie-Cockburn Line services, the exact opposite of what it did for the 20 years prior when the Thornlie line was operating from 2005. The Armadale line reopens to Armadale and beyond on the extension to Byford on the 12th of October 2025. Following this short 4-month period, both lines now stop at the station, providing a 7.5 minute frequency all day, every day, and a slightly increased frequency every 5 minutes in the peak direction during peak. The station features a second exit onto the northern side, with a car park located underneath the elevated rail. There is also small parts of Long Park up until the point where the rail dives back down to ground level, with a siding being located after the station, right in between Cannington and Beckenham. This siding is bi-directional, allowing trains to terminate from either direction during disruptions, which has already occurred before since the reopening with Perth to Beckenham closures. In theory, it would also allow for a passing loop, basically, for any express trains or the Austrian service to run past the train, but I don't think this is going to be happening anytime soon. Alright, so this is the car park. We'll just have a quick walk. There's also these emergency staircases down here, which would have been cool if they were open, especially since it's an open station anyway with the smart ride processors, but oh well. There are no bus services at Beckenham Station, not even on the street, nothing really nearby. The closest ones are the 280 and 224, 225 services a few streets away to High Wycombe Station and East Cannington circulars. Okay, so there is some electric charging spots here as well, which they do put at new Metronet stations usually, but no one is really using them. And there are actually a few apartments, which is nice to see. The Beckenham bus depot is actually also just located down Sevenoaks Street here. The station isn't very far from the major Cannington station, it's only around a kilometre, so that's really the station spacing along this section, and is of course the last shared station between the Armadale and Thornlie-Cockburn lines. And even though they both stop here now, it is still not marked or officially signposted as the transfer point, with the announcement still telling you to change at Cannington, which is an island platform. There's a bus going to depot. Now, the timing with the trains is actually pretty bad. Usually when you're coming in on an inbound service on either line, you will get here a mere 3 minutes after the outbound service on the opposite line has gone through, which is really poor. So if that outbound service is late, it's actually way better to connect at Beckenham, but otherwise you can just go to Cannington and wait around 8 minutes for the other direction service. I think at night time, when it's 30-minute frequency, it's about a 5-minute wait here and only a 2-minute wait at Cannington, which also means if there's a delay on your inbound train, it's actually much safer to get off here and avoid missing the connection at Cannington. So I don't think they really thought that out too well. And the transfer here is still completely fine, even though it is side platforms, while Cannington is now a good island, but I don't think it's very well designed with that, but it's okay. Now, this is apparently Basin Park. I don't think there's anything here yet. It's just water basins with nothing yet. They should put something here. There's a small playground there. There goes a train, B series, which the Thornlie-Cockburn line is predominantly run by B series trains as of the opening of the Armadale line. Before it was A series for that short period of time in between, but now it is B's. Okay, that's basically it for the entire surroundings. It's a very small footprint station, especially now that it's been consolidated to one side of the level crossing. mainly the stuff you want to go to in this area is at Cannington. Here it's just industrial and a few residential buildings, but still cool. I don't know what they're on about with this basin park. They barely have anything here. Let's head back and take a look at the platform level, and then that's already basically it. Alright, so this is the train replacement bus stop for both 907 and 908 to Byford and Cockburn Central. For some reason they still have the old 907 timetable on here from July 2025. What is this, Transperth? How is this still here? And with this diagram of Armadale Station, because before they had the train station reopened during the shutdown, they had the 907 operating via Beckenham Station, while the 221 actually went on Albany Highway, so did not serve this station. So it was only served by the 907. I don't get why the timetable is still there. I didn't even know that. Now that I saw that, I'm going to be writing a complaint, because that is just confusing. There's no buses here except during disruption, so we'll need to put that up. Okay, let's walk in. It's very basic. This is how all the elevated minor stations are, but it's still way better than the old hut station that was here, although I do miss the staggered platforms. So it's just this open area, screen displays, ticket machine, smart word processors, information point, all that stuff.
This service stops all stations to Cockburn.
No toilets, no escalators, only stairs on both sides, but there is 4 lifts.
Passengers, your next service leaves from
And glitching announcements.
in 2 minutes. This service
I don't know why this always happens.
to Cockburn Station.
For some reason at the new stations they always have these glitches where it's constantly switching between like 3 and 2 minutes. See, it said it again. Anyway, here's the lift, Beckenham Station, lift 1 out of 4. I can't believe a tiny station like this has 4 lifts. But they do have the policy for 2 lifts to each platform in case one breaks down now at new stations. And we're here. This is the platform level. Again, very basic. It's so weird that they did elevate this station, because it's literally like a hump, you know, you're at ground level and then it goes up and then goes back down for the dive tunnel. And now it announced 1 minute. What? Anyway, the train's already here. This is actually the odd A series that runs on the Thornlie-Cockburn line as a 2-car, the only one. All the rest are 3-car B series. Of course, the platform is 6 cars long, but that is rarely utilized except on the stadium event days when the Thornlie-Cockburn line runs 6-car trains. And there it is, the reminder of what it used to be before the Armadale line reopened. 2-car to Cockburn. And with that, we're basically already finished. Nothing much more to say about Beckenham. It's a cool little station, part of the level crossing rebuilds, but nothing really too special here at all. So it's just great that it's had its frequency increase though, which previously obviously they had only half the amount of trains stopping here, so that was great. All the way until October as well. It's so weird that it completely switched which lines served here. Like before, Beckenham residents had direct connections to the Armadale line stations beyond Kenwick. And then for those 3 months, I mean, I know it was closed, but for those 3 months, they were connected to a completely different area they previously weren't, with Nicholson Road, Ranford Road, and Thornlie obviously, and Cockburn Central and beyond on the Major line, which was so funny. Now they're just both served. All this space down the end of this platform is like completely useless most of the time. No one would ever come down here. There's no seating, no facilities here, because there's no reason, there's no exit here. The only good thing is you get the view down towards the siding, mainly on that side though, and the city in the distance, which is a little cloudy today, but you can still see. All right, let's move on to the train clips now.
service departs from platform 1 in 5 minutes. This service runs all stops to Perth.
Very quiet station most of the time, as you can see. There's only like, I don't know, maybe a quarter or even less than a quarter of the amount of people using it than they do at Cannington. But still, it's a nice one, as with all the new ones. I'm going to be giving it a rating of 4 stars. Like, it's obviously way better than the hut stations, particularly like Kenwick just down the line, still staggered, which is a cool feature to have one station still like that, but it is just like dangerous and very basic. The only improvements needed here are obviously toilets and escalators, maybe. I guess it's not that busy. Or at least better parklands underneath, because there isn't really much. And despite all the advertising around Long Park becoming such a community-oriented space, I don't think there's really many people using it down below. But still, it's good, so. Just not on par with much grander stations like Cannington, just down the line. And now I will be taking the Thornlie-Cockburn line after having just filmed a Perth-bound Armadale line train coming through like 3 minutes ago. There's some delays, but see, that's what this frequency gives to you. It's so good. Even less than 3 minutes, to be honest. With the B series, nice mix of trains here. Now that we have both lines with the different train types operating. Thanks for watching, and bye.